Becoming Eva fans. We are in studio today. Yay! For the first time in how long has it been?
Oh gosh, since March of 2020.
Quite honestly. We are back.
Yeah.
So exciting to be back in studio. Thank you for joining us for this wonderful episode, Enneagrams. So if you joined us last week with Brandy Underwood, then you all know about all the different types. I know people ask in the chat, well, what about our spouses? And those different types. How do we communicate with our spouses? Because he's like, I know he's a special type and I'm this way. So today we are talking about Enneagrams and marriages. So we've got our wonderful spouses with us today. Mr. Ryan Righteous of Track Stars.
And Mr. Chris DJ Jeremiah Dawson. So, yes, of Track Stars. We're so excited to have y'all here. Thank y'all so much for joining us this morning. I know you out of your element around all this pink and such, but it's all right. It's all right. We won't bite. We won't bite. Thank y'all so much, though, for being here. So, before we dive into Enneagrams and marriage, you know we got to talk what's trending, okay? And this was a very busy week. A lot going on. A lot has transpired. So, let's start. First up, let's see. Where do we want to start? Let's start with the Obamas. They were actually at the White House earlier this week, and there was some, commentary around that because they actually had their paintings unveiled at the White House. And so, of course, there was, lighthearted commentary. Barack was talking about, this painting makes my wife look so fine. And then, Michelle brings it home with the, just really talking about how important it is to have people of color represented in the White House, and the fact that, a biracial child, born in or grew up in a single parent household, and then, she's a daughter of a blue collar working class man, and the fact that they made it to the White House. So any thoughts on the Obama's portraits being unveiled in the White House this week?
I thought it was absolutely beautiful. Michelle looks stunning in that blue dress.
Yeah.
So kudos to the artist, because I like to paint. I'm not quite that skilled at painting, but I do like to paint. It's a lot of detail in both of them. And so I can just really appreciate the beauty, and I hope one day that I'll get to visit it in person. I've never been there, but it means so much, I think, to our community.
Absolutely. You have any thoughts, Jens?
Yeah, I thought it was amazing. Glad to see the Obamas back in the White House, especially with a friendly, welcome from, the current administration. Had it been the prior administration, I don't know. But it's good to see them, back in the White House with, being adored and loved. I can't stop stressing enough how this president went 8 years scandal-free, and the fact that everyone still gives this family a hard time, and they have been, a model family up to this point. I won't say it'll stay that way, but they're a model family. So I'm just happy to see them thriving as they continue to set an example for Black America.
That's awesome.
I think everything what y'all said is real. I would like to see what would happen if a Republican in office, and see how if they would keep those pictures up or they would take them down or whatever. But I think just how, I think the good thing about Obama is he always uplifts Michelle, and and I think that's a great thing as a man, to uplift his wife and in those public settings and everything of that nature. So yeah, and I think that legacy is in stone. So
yeah, that's what's up. I wonder, did it really take what they've been out of office 5 years now, 6 years for them for their paintings to be put up? Was it intentional that they came back to the White House, they literally waited until Trump left, or was the painting just not ready?
No, it depends on, honestly, I think it depends on the president of what they want to do in the White House, if I'm not mistaken. If the president feel like, hey, we're going to put up a Michelle and Barack painting, I'm Joe, being his former vice president, I'm sure was okay, we're going to make that happen. And honestly, sometimes it's just one of those things where just like waiting for the right moment to do that. You know what I'm saying? And then also you got to look at it from a standpoint of when they like give people medals and different things of that nature. It's like these are my people, so I want them to be represented in the White House. You know?
Yeah, I think it would have been uncomfortable had it been the prior administration. I think he would have been uncomfortable coming back in there. You know, the way he was, the way he exited. You know, he was graceful and making sure that there was a peaceful handoff. But the second president who came behind him didn't give a peaceful handoff. So I think it would have been tension had they come any earlier. You know, so this administration was the right time to do it.
Well, all right, there you have it. All right, second topic on what's trending. Chadwick Bozeman. He actually received an Emmy this week for actually some voiceover work that he did for an animated series where he was the voice of a Black Panther. And there was some commentary up on it. Some people were like, yes, his legacy continues to live. Other people were like, is that necessarily fair with him no longer being with us physically? Like, how does that work? So do y'all have any thoughts on people winning awards? Do you, after they pass, do you think that it's fair that someone else who's actually living should have gotten the award? Like, what are your thoughts?
I think if he rightfully deserved it, then yes, I think you should give honor where honor is due, whether they're here or not. And his wife was able to accept the award on his behalf. And she was reflecting on, what he was going through with his health when he was actually recording for that particular, was it a TV or
animated series?
The animated series. And she was just reflecting on like his commitment and his dedication to be battling his health challenges and still being out there and doing an excellent job. So I definitely think it's fair. And if he rightfully deserved it, then yes, give it to him.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it was definitely a nice gesture. I think it should have been an honorable mention. And then the physical award should have gone to someone else. I think it would have been, we have two winners this year. Our honorable honorable nominee or honoree is Chadwick Bozeman, who's no longer with us.
Good idea.
But the physical award would have gone to this person. And the reason I say that is because you definitely want to highlight what he brought to the whole, character and what he did as far as his health challenges and everything. But it's still a little bit weird to me. It's almost like they always talk about all these different songs are coming out with Tupac.
Yes. Still charging.
Yeah, that's really weird. That's really weird. Somebody just all of a sudden dropped something with Marvin Gaye. I think we'd all be freaked out. Like,
wow,
where did this come from? So yeah, I think they just have to, give respect to the deceased, but at the same time, be realistic.
Yeah, no, that's a great point.
Yeah, I mean, I think what you said is true. Like, it's kind of hard because it's like you don't want to complain losing to Black Panther, but you don't want to complain winning against Black Panther. So it's like a double-edged sword for the person who would have won outside of being the voiceover stuff. So it's very hard. I understand why they give it to him. I mean, that's a legendary role that he played. It's an iconic role. It means so much to so many people of him playing that role. So I understand why he won. It's just hard to beat. It's hard to beat the dead. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just hard to be like, I can beat dead people, because it's just like, especially if they killed that role, if they was something like, you know what I'm saying? It's almost like we always talk about, and it's still in the comic book world. You talk about the Joker, and when you think about the Joker, you think of Heath Ledger immediately. Nobody else can play the Joker like him. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, it's just one of those things where if somebody kills that role to a point, they do deserve it. But also, it's just like, if they killed it and then they pass, it's just like, don't show up. If I was in that category, I wouldn't show up. I think Chad was not that.
Well, that's sad. And I mean, hopefully he, understood how much he filled that role, before he passed. But sadly, a lot of people don't. Like, I think about Pop Smoke. I think about Nipsey Hussle. Like, people that passed, in my mind, they didn't blow up until after they passed. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't necessarily like that look as much, but hopefully he, was celebrated just as much while he was living as much now. So, all right, and then third for what's trending, we had actually some sad news this week. The Queen of England passed away at 96 years old. Like 96 years old. I was doing just a little bit of research about her legacy and the fact that she was queen for over 7 decades. Like, that's amazing. 7 decades. And she really worked hard to make the monarchy relevant in today's society. So definitely kudos to her for that. And then she passed in 96 and immediately her son Charles was, announced as king. So, but any thoughts about how you may have been impacted by the queen or the monarchy, the work that she's done, did during her lifetime?
Definitely kudos to her. And I've always been fascinated with that culture and that lifestyle. It's very, very different in the US. We don't have kings and queens, and it's just very fascinating to me. And my children, I don't think they really fully understand that there's real kings and queens because they're so much into like Disney princess movies and things like that. But very interesting culture.
Yeah, I'll say the same. I think it's interesting to see a world where you had centuries of this leadership and how they conform to the modern day world, and leaving out so much because she's no longer, or that family is no longer in charge of the government, but it's like, wow, just to be, to have that name and that title. And I also read in the article too that Harry and Meghan Markle's kids got their titles when she passed because of a rule that King George V put together, that once you pass away, you become a great grandchild of a king, you automatically get your titles. So her children got their titles, which I thought was interesting. And it's a changing of the guards because now we have to see how this family moves with the rules changing a bit. Will William and Harry reconcile their differences? Will King Charles, reach out and make amends for the family to come back together and be as one again?
Yeah, that's a great question.
They're also dignified and classy in here. Y'all know we don't care. Y'all know that. As long as her last name wasn't Latifah, we good. All right, so y'all know that. No, I'm joking. I think just over the years of so much stuff about the Queen and just what what they represent for England. I guess what we call them our sister country. So what that represents, and then what also represents for other countries as well that dealt with England and other other spheres of influence, I guess. So that's a big thing. And then to think about somebody being alive, being in hierarchy that many years is a blessing. So, but it was interesting how King Charles, he pulled up like, yeah, I'm king now. So these are some things. He was like that. But I thought it interesting that I was talking to somebody about this. I was like, I feel like she was passed already, and then I'm just saying that she was dead already, and then they recorded it, and then they had a funeral. Because I was like, who has a funeral that fast? Like, who has a funeral? Like, she died on Thursday, and then funeral on Friday. I'm like, is that how that works? Like, I've never heard that before.
Well, so she had been sick. She had people taking care of her. And it almost makes sense because they said that Harry got there too late. Right? Yeah, he got there too late. So he was transitioning, and they said she passed while he was on his way up. So he's in the car crying. They show a picture of that. So I think it did happen that way. Yeah. But I think because of who she was, the plan was already in place. Gotcha. The moment it happens, we move forward with these plans because she had been under medical care.
Because the Queen of Soul was on tour when she died. Y'all know that. The Queen, Aretha Franklin, they had she went to Memphis, to Atlanta. She was all over the place. But you just see how we do this.
Well, oh, you talking about after she passed?
Yeah, I'm talking about after she
They
passed.
didn't put her body. They didn't put her body on.
She was on
That's
tour,
right.
bro.
Yeah,
That's true.
oh, Lord.
So
God bless the dead. All right. So that's it for what's trending. We're going to move on into Enneagrams and marriage. Okay. So first off, we're going to do a recap. All right. So for those of you that didn't make it last week and experience the fabulous, the wonderful Mrs. Brandy Underwood, she did an excellent job of just breaking it down. Like, you tell she had just such a wealth of knowledge, and that this is something that she has really like studied and researched for a while. So I'm not Brandy, so I'm clearly going to be reading these descriptions, but I want to make sure that everybody has a recap of the 9 different types before we go through our types and talk about, effective communication, conflict resolution, all of that, how Enneagrams can look and how to navigate them in your marriage. Okay. So the first type is the perfectionist, or as Brandy called it, the reformer. They place a lot of emphasis on following the rules, doing things correctly, and they have a fear of being imperfect and can be extremely strict with themselves and others. The second type is the helper, okay?
Or the giver.
Yes. They want to be liked. They want to find ways that they can be helpful to others so that they belong. You want to take type 3?
Type 3 is the achiever. They want to be successful and admired by others, and they're very conscious of their public image, the way that they appear, and they fear failure and not being seen as valuable.
Yes. You want to do 4?
Type 4 is the individualist. They want to be unique and to experience deep, authentic emotions. They fear they are flawed and are overly focused on how they are different from other people.
Yes. And then type 5, the investigator. They seek understanding and knowledge. They are more comfortable with data than other people. And their biggest fear is being overwhelmed by their needs or the needs of other people. And then we have type 6, which can be called the loyalist or the skeptic. 6s are preoccupied with security. They seek safety. They like to be prepared for problems. Okay. Their greatest fear is being unprepared and unable to defend themselves from danger.
Type 7, the enthusiasts. They want fun and adventure, and they're easily bored. They fear emotional pain and especially sadness.
All right. And then 8.
The challenger sees themselves as strong and powerful, and they seek to stand up for what they believe in. They fear being powerless, so they focus to control their environment.
That's a big one. And then 9, the peacemaker. 9s like to go with the flow and let the people around them set the agenda. Type 9s fear pushing people away by prioritizing their own needs, and they tend to be passive at times. So those are the 9 types. As you can see, everybody has flaws, everybody has strengths, everybody has weaknesses, all of that, So we're going to talk about both and just how to navigate them. So as a review, we'll do ours and then we'll do a drum roll to review our husbands. Okay. So you want to share yours first?
Yes, I'm type 1. I'm the perfectionist. Yay, I guess. I was going to make a crown and wear my little crown that said like type 1. I will proudly wear my crown. I see you cutting your eyes at me, but I am type 1, the perfectionist.
I love
and then my second one was 3, the achiever. So we've got a perfectionist and a high achiever.
Love it. I am type 4, the individualist or the romantic. I do love being different. I do love being unique, very artistic, very creative, very emotionally connected, like internally, like I process through a lot of things, and can be overly focused on that at times. So yeah, definitely a number 4. And honestly, I think my second was a 3, but I'll have to go back and check because that achievement, that, drive to pursue and get things done and make a mark is definitely a close second. So that is my number. So shall we reveal
first
the numbers?
I want to ask, what do you think Chris's number is?
Good question, man.
I'm curious to know what you think.
I'm curious to know what I think too, Toya. I'm like, Lord, because I feel like Chris has so many different dynamics and facets to himself. And like, you know, there are just aspects of him that you see and there are other aspects that you don't. And so I don't know. Part of me, I will say this, while I was reading, this is just what flashed across my mind. While I was reading, I was like, I wonder if he's a type 6. I wonder if he's a skeptic or a loyalist. Like, Chris is big on being prepared. He likes to map stuff out. So,
well, wouldn't you know? Your husband sent me his Enneagram number.
The drum roll.
Drum roll. You know Chris very, very well. He is a type 6. You hit it right on the head.
I win a song.
So he is a skeptic. You
wow.
are so correct.
Conspiracy J. Let Sean
At
Grant
his
tell it.
finest. Yes, that's where Conspiracy J lives. Right there. He lives right
Called
there.
discernment.
Oh my gosh.
Conspiracy
Thank
is
you
discernment.
for giving us the biblical definition of it. Okay.
Discernment.
Great. All right. So let's get into Ryan's number. So, Toya, what number do you think your husband is?
So I was going back and forth thinking about what Ryan's number might be. And I think he might be a type 8. I'm not
okay.
100%.
A challenger?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he might be a challenger. I could be wrong.
Okay.
That or the Peacemaker.
Okay.
A type 9, 8 or 9.
Okay.
So I was kind of going back and forth.
Yeah, I was going to say you were close. You're very close. Your husband is type 9, the Peacemaker.
Okay,
yes. And I immediately, when he told me the number, I immediately thought about the conversation we had with Brandy last week, because she was like, 1s and 9s tend to marry each other. And I was like, well, there you have it. 1s and 9s. Like, there you have it. So I love it. I love it.
How long do they stay married?
Oh my God. Iron sharpens iron.
I think they need to put the Enneagram on dating site. It needs to be something that you consider. Because my wife is
a perfectionist need a peacemaker.
Man,
Amen.
my wife is definitely a 1.
Hey, over
And
here
it's
in
so
the
funny.
amen corner.
It's so funny because when I was taking the test, I was like, they need some questions on here for like, I don't care to take this test type.
Oh
like,
my
you know what I mean?
God.
Like,
I'm
if you don't
over
want
it.
to take this test, you know,
I'm good.
It basically was the same questions over and over each time you went over, but it
Yeah.
was different, worded different way. I hate
Yeah.
stuff like that, but
Yeah.
it's basically what that was.
But yeah, I if they say 1 and 9s can get along, I guess that's true. But you know, sometimes like I'm not a perfectionist. I've never sought to be a perfectionist. I know that I just want to get it done and have it look good and have people give me a compliment. You know, I work on cars, I work on things at the house, but I'm not expecting anybody to come in and be like, "Hey, hire me to do this." Right? I'm just not a perfectionist. I don't want to check every corner 6 or 7 different times. And so for me, you know, that can be a bit of a challenge when you live with a perfectionist and they're like, you didn't fold that right. You had to fold the corner.
No, but the thing is this is a good thing, Ryan. When Toya's going haywire, that's when your peace comes in.
Amen.
So that's the blessing
Well,
right
I'm
there.
just nonchalant. I get over stuff quickly. I don't hold grudges. I move past it, you know. And so I'll give you an example. When I'm at home and I'm cleaning the kitchen, she has her way of saying, "Oh, the kitchen's clean." I have my way of saying the kitchen's clean.
Yeah.
If the dishes are washed, the floor is swept, the dishes can remain in the sink to dry. That's my theory. Is it needs to dry on its own. Why you got to get a dish rag and dry it yourself?
I'm over that, huh?
But then she calls cleaning the kitchen, the microwave, the stove, getting around the
countertop.
It's called wiping the
Mr.
countertop.
Miyagi
But if I'm
theory.
looking at the clock,
Wax on.
if I'm looking at the clock and I'm like, I got 15 minutes to dedicate to the kitchen, I know what's going to get done and what's not, right? You're not going to wake up in the morning and see bugs and rodents on the top. So it's clean, right? So
Yeah, our definitions of cleaning the kitchen is very different. Sometimes, I don't know if you noticed this, but like if he's cleaning the kitchen, he doesn't always like gather the dishes off of the stove or the island or the table. But over the years, I have learned to just, as I see him washing, I just politely, gently, quietly bring the dishes next to the sink as he's washing, and he looks. He said, "Oh,
There's more.
there's more."
Yes, yes.
And I don't say anything, but it's just like, oh, okay, maybe he just didn't see it. But that's just my way of helping you out.
But it goes beyond like things out of my control. Like we'll get the grass cut, and she'll be like, "Did you see he left some stuff by the mailbox?"
Well,
I'm like, who cares?
it's not just you.
If the homeowners association doesn't get on my back, I don't care if he left a strand or two. It
If
doesn't
you
bother me.
paid for a service, though,
Yeah,
you
that's
want to
different.
get the,
Nah, I mean,
the
to me, it's
optimum
like
maximize.
all
A
of
haircut
that-
is like if somebody cut your hair and they leave a patch right here and the rest is like black.
I'd be like, oh,
I've
you're not a
never-
perfectionist.
Exactly.
Exactly. Right? You
never-
just gonna roll out with that little patch right there.
I've never grabbed the mirror at the barbershop and been like, "Fix this, fix that."
Oh, I
just
do all the
look at it
time.
and be like, "We good." 'Cause I just,
I mean,
I
if
feel
that's what
like-
you know, like okay, for example, if you get your hair cut and you know they give you the mirror, like okay, this is what I normally get. But if I look in the mirror and I see a patch right here, and a patch right here, and a patch right here, like a baseball field, and the rest of it's
Okay.
clean,
You
I'm
need a
like,
new barber, 'cause
bro,
I
what's
haven't
going
had that
on?
problem yet. You need a new barber.
No,
But
no, my
I'm
barber's
saying-
good.
I know
He don't
you
do that,
good.
but I'm just saying that's what she's responding to. So and she's like, hey, if our whole grass supposed to be cut, why is there a little thing right there?
You need to tell your boy.
Oh,
you
my
get that little
gosh.
spot. Do you want me to go out there?
Get your
I
boy.
can- I
Yeah,
can
you go out there because I mean, my thing
Y'all
is, I
are
paid
funny.
the guy. He did the job.
Oh my
It's a
gosh.
wrap. I'm done. But I'm also a person that likes to move to the next thing. My
Yeah.
mind doesn't want to stay in one place too long.
Yeah.
So when you've cut the grass and you're out the door, you're on your way out. I don't want to stop what I'm doing to come chase you down and be like, "Did
I
you
didn't
get
want to
that?"
say names.
I'll go and pull it myself. Like, oh, she just wants that little strand up. Pull it. Go to the side.
I love it. I love it. As y'all can see, it gets real. It gets real.
I can't help it. Like I said, I will probably wear my crown. I know you're probably talking about me when we were setting up this set. I know you probably
Me?
were too.
We have a whole
think
nother
everybody
conversation on
was.
this set.
I was.
We have a whole nother conversation.
When you said
Oh,
your
yeah, I
number,
know-
when you
I
said your
know.
number, I was like, yeah, this we
I'm
proved it.
sorry, I cannot.
A few
help
minutes
it.
ago over
But
there.
look at the fruit of her labor, y'all.
She was like,
This
you
is
gonna do the
amazing.
sound? What's going on with that?
I'm sorry. I know y'all were probably saying mean things about me.
I wasn't saying mean things.
in
No, it
your
wasn't
head.
mean.
Oh, in my head, maybe.
You were probably. Well, I know you were probably rolling your eyes.
Yes,
I know.
yes,
I
yes.
know you were rolling
Yes,
your eyes.
yes.
I felt it.
Especially with
Even
them texts yesterday morning. I
I
said,
knew you were
Lord
ro-
Jesus.
I know you were rolling your eyes, and I know you, I was getting on your nerves. And Sean, I know
just
you.
call
I was
Sean.
probably
We
getting on
always
you.
get on Sean's nerves.
Anyways.
Everybody does. But yeah.
I can't help
Sean's
it.
behind the scenes, in case y'all didn't know. He's like the,
Shout out to
the-
producer Sean.
Yes.
the ultimate
Wears a
behind the
million
scenes.
hats.
Yes.
Wears a million hats, and we can't start the show without him.
God bless him. And you know what? We got to give a shout out to as well to his better half, Alfie. Holding it down
Hold down,
always,
Alfie.
always. She gives us topic ideas. She went on a retreat with us this summer. I mean, literally, just a lot of the topics and the things that we discuss, she has her hand in. So we got to give a shout out to the Grants.
Can I talk about another blessing that's coming to all our lives? Jerry and Latrina.
Yes.
They don't want to be in front of the camera. That's kind of nervous. Though.
God bless
know
them now. God bless them.
We're gonna turn on America's Most Wanted like these people in the army, and
Oh
they
my
get it
God.
popping.
Faithfully answering the call of God.
Yes.
I
Great
remember
people.
When, Jerry first reached out and said that when he got to Atlanta, he wanted to look us up, and it's been a blessing. So we appreciate it.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank y'all so much.
Thank y'all so much. So yes, we had to give y'all a sneak peek behind the scenes. But yes, so you see a little bit of what goes down in Moortown, and then over here in
It's real.
Dawsonville, we roll a little different. So do you want to talk about your skeptic loyalist ways a little bit?
What in our household?
You can, yeah.
Oh, I don't know how that plays out.
I mean, I have some thoughts. If you
Go ahead,
don't,
go
but,
ahead.
I mean, I really
No,
do.
go ahead.
I mean, literally, I am a planner, a project planner, like literally professionally, all that. But I mean, like Chris is like a planner. Like he want to know what we doing, where we going, what time you think we're gonna be done. Do you think it's gonna be? And I'd be like, bro, I don't know. I'm figuring it out just like you. Like we are working it out together. We are working it out together.
Sometimes I thought she was the one. Sometimes she
I
has
have
one
one
moment.
tendency.
Why are you like making those faces as you're saying
I'm
it like
just
that?
saying. I mean, you're the only one in the
Oh,
building,
God.
so
That's not Jeremiah being prepared. That's Jeremiah planning his nap schedule. What time we going?
He don't plan it. It just
It
happens.
just happens to
it
me,
really
man.
does. And then he'll wake up like he wasn't asleep. Like he'll wake up and just jump in the conversation.
I
I'll be like,
would.
bro, you was over there snoring 2 seconds ago. But anyways, that's a whole nother story. So, but yeah, I mean, like literally ultimate perfectionist or planner when it
Yeah.
comes to that. Very,
Yeah.
very huge. So.
Yeah, and I think that's I think the balance of that is just even just talking about what's our next steps and what it is, or this what we need to do, or different things of that nature. And I think we balance each other out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
think we do
Definitely.
the thing.
Definitely. I feel you on the kitchen piece. So I think honestly that might be a man-woman thing. No, I could be wrong though, but the cleaning of the kitchen piece is very, very unique. So I know Chris has done his due diligence and like really helping out more in that area. But I always find myself kind of going behind him. I don't know if any of y'all are like me, but I'm kind of like a pre-washer. Like we have a dishwasher, but I'm still gonna wash the dishes before I put them in the dishwasher. Because my thing is this: if they're crusty, when you put them in the dishwasher, they're gonna be even more crusty when you take them out of the dishwasher, in my opinion. So, cause I'll be like, it ain't looking good. So, yeah. So, Chris may load the dishwasher, but then I go right behind him and be like, put it right back.
You rinse the dishes before you put them in there, but then the hot water from the dishwasher takes care of all of that.
I wish it did.
It's better than me.
I wish it did. So, all right. So, yeah, you got a sneak peek of the inner workings behind the scenes, but we're going to dive a little bit deeper. So, what I want us to talk about is really how to love these different types because they're each very, very different. So, I'm going to talk about the one first, and there's an area here in their description where it says, if you love a one. So, Ryan, I want you to pay attention to this, okay? All right. So, if you love a one, remember that even when they're healthy, they still love improving things. There's always another level. There's always another level, Ryan.
What is that? When you say even though they're healthy?
Well,
Healthy
when they're in their
ones.
healthy space.
Healthy
yeah.
ones.
Like when they're functioning at a healthy one, versus an
healthy one. Okay,
yeah.
got you.
They still love improving things. Okay. Their biggest needs in relationships are finding time to make the world a better place as a team. Only then can they relax. Okay. Okay. They got to get the work done and then they can relax. Okay. This is not only their desire, but it's literally how God wired her, how she's gifted in that area. Okay. All right. You too will be on the road to improvement if you choose to partner with a one. Okay. Sometimes that's even unconsciously why you've picked them because you knew they would keep you on the straight and narrow. Might be a little something in there. Might be. I'm just saying. This is all subjective though. Okay. Ones are in the anger triad of the Enneagram. They are inclined to have anger and a harsh, critical voice that can be turned both inward and outward. Why aren't they better or why aren't I better? They can kind of be sometimes their own worst critics. So really try to encourage her in that area. Okay. If you know this to be true. And then try to remember that she is, let's see, let me make sure I'm wording this right. When your one is trying to reform you or trying to change you, it's only because they're wired to see problems. That's kind of how she's wired. Okay. And then work on your stuff. However, don't take it on if it's not yours to deal with. So you got to figure out, when you should take on something and when you shouldn't. Okay. And then also steer them toward fun as a reward after medium to large segments of hard work. Okay. Fun is great. All right. And then if you're with a one, of course, remind them that you may have different gifts from them. Let them know you're never going to give up on self-improvement, that you don't want them to judge or critique you. Help them to find framing things more positively and realize that their very gift for seeing others can be positive, but can also have a negative impact on you. So healthy communication is very important in that area. But seeing where it comes from, of course, is great. So just some tips if you love a number one. All right.
Therapy.
Now, Toya, if you love a number 9, okay. If you have found someone who is known to be the most gentle, peaceable, and altruistic of all types, this energy spent merging with other needs, it can seem slothful at times. It can seem like you ain't doing enough. What in the world? Okay. If you have to rouse them, consider yourself lucky that they will move in the direction you want, since they more honestly care about you and the relationship than getting what they wanted themselves. Encourage them to have their own autonomy and self-respect so that they're not harboring any passive aggressive anger. You just want to make sure the lines of communication are open, all right? And then make sure you actively listen with them and pause to see what's really going on with them. Because I don't know, you speak up though, Ryan. You may or may not. I don't know.
I do.
Okay, so yeah. And then realize when they do get loud, they're feeling either unheard or anxious. Address these particular issues as best as you can, even though they may say it's fine. Making daily prioritized lists will also help with the nines. They will always try to put you first. So give them express permission to take care of their own physical and mental health, or errands they need to run, work, hobbies, or what have you. So I don't know if that's accurate or not, but hopefully it helps a little bit if you love a 9.
It's my number was split almost evenly between 9 and 2.
Okay, the helper.
Yeah,
I
I would
you.
say I'm more of a 2
Mm-hmm.
than a 9.
Okay.
And the reason I say that is because all this week I was just constantly thinking about how I could help this come together. Even though there was other things that I had to do, it was like I prioritized this because I wanted to help, right?
Yeah.
So I definitely get the whole loving a 1, but I think the number one way to love a 1 is if you said those vows, just keep those vows and be like,
amen.
I did that. So
amen.
But to be honest with you, her being a 1 is not a bad thing. Because I don't feel pressured by it. I mean, there's some times, but there's like certain projects, that I do feel the pressure. Like, oh, she's the foreman, and I'm just, I'm free labor right
She's
now.
running
like,
this.
Yeah.
Yes, he said he makes comments all the time.
Yeah, I just recently did a project for her at the house, and she was standing over me like, "Well, what's next? When is this happening?" And I would be like, "I'm doing this for the first time, so I got to go figure it out. But I don't have an answer for you. I just know I'm gonna go to Lowe's later on today, and we're gonna try to figure it out." So yeah, but I think it is. I think it's a balance. Now that you mention it, it's a good balance.
All right. You have anything else you want to share on loving 9/2 or 2/9?
I can relate. I was just seeing lots of different examples in my head as you were reading through. I was like, yeah, I can be my own worst critic. I'm definitely hard on myself. My inner voice, sometimes I have to kind of keep in control because the high achiever in me and the perfectionist is, I don't know if that's a really a good mix, but it's like I'm always striving. And I think over the years I've learned to kind of tone down some things. Like before I got married, like my house was like perfectly clean, like all the time, like everything was in the proper place and different things like that. Not so much anymore. We've got 4 kids. We've got 4 kids.
Oh Lord,
it's nearly impossible to keep it as clean as I like it all the time.
Yeah,
but you will never come to my house and you will never see it looking jacked up. You will always see the fake house if you come over. We call it the fake house, like
hilarious.
It's the fake house.
Hilarious.
It doesn't look like that all the time. But it's kind of a balance. You got to give and take, I think. But
yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Definitely. You ready to diagnose Dawsonville?
Yeah. So if you love a 4, remember that when they feel uncertain about the relationship, they will test you to see if you love them and try to evoke an emotional reaction from you. I don't know if that's true. It's healthy for you not only to be logical and caring, but to show some emotions also. I don't know if Maya, it's like, well, are you going to react to that? Like, can I have some more emotions? Like, are you gonna cry?
I do try to evoke emotion.
Can you evoke some emotions? I don't know if Maya is like that, but we can talk about that. Even if less dramatic than your partner and you're mostly being an active listener, fours also need plenty of time to withdraw, as well as quality time with you so that they can understand themselves better.
Very true.
And so you can potentially understand them better. Also, remember that fours don't evoke emotions from you to be cruel, but because they are feeling lonely and rejected, don't abandon poor Maya. Instead, encourage her to find time to both explore their own spirituality, including through religion and seeking higher power, we'll just say religion, and take care of their physical or mental health. Finally, you can give them permission to have some space while also assuring them of your love.
Amen.
Any thoughts on that?
I'll be trying. I'll be trying.
You do good.
I'll be trying to give her space. I'll be like, babe, why don't you do this? She'll be like, I'm good. I'm here. I'm at the house.
Well, I like the quality time with you too. Like that balance that she mentioned is so important. Like I enjoy spending quality time with you, but then I do recharge in solitude. I am huge on like having time by myself and just shutting it down. And even when we have time where we're just shutting it down, period, like Sabbath day in Dawsonville, we usually on different levels. Like he may be upstairs, I'm downstairs, or vice versa, because we are recharging and we don't necessarily have to be in the same space. We'll come together around mealtime or something and be like, hey, what's up? How you doing? And then go back.
But this
to
is
our
about
corners.
because I may want to watch something
Yeah.
and she may want to watch something
Yeah.
else. And then that's when I say, okay, babe, I got down upstairs and we go downstairs and then we just watching. Because I'm more like on like sometimes on Sundays I watch documentaries and she hates documentaries.
I do. I fall asleep on them.
So I'm upstairs watching documentaries and she's downstairs watching Love something Hallmark or
probably.
yeah, Christmas in July. Like yeah,
I love it. I will do it in a heartbeat. Yeah, but I'm huge on that. So,
yeah. So that's the only reason why we go upstairs and downstairs is just, and honestly, that's like you said, sometimes you want to give people their space. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. But I enjoy our time together too. I mean, I'm huge on that. We've really become more intentional this year, especially about actively dating each other more frequently and doing different things besides dinner and a movie. Like that's our go-to, but like really like having activities or doing things that we don't typically do and just trying to be more frequent about it, or trying restaurants we haven't tried before, things like that. So this has been a really good year for that, honestly. So,
and that's more honestly more her. I get pulled to do that.
Yes.
Because I'm very just one way. So, but yeah, that's more Maya. She's more Maya. Yeah, I
What's
am.
nearby? What did we have last week? I'm like,
Yeah.
can we have something different?
Yeah, I gotta get back to my clothes. You know what I'm saying?
Your laundry.
And my laundry. So
your new task, your new hobby for the.
No, I wash clothes.
I thank God that he is taking that off my plate. That is huge, a huge relief. But you take it seriously.
Yeah, I do.
Yes.
I'm thinking about. I got 2 loads at the house now. So.
Also, I do recall you saying, Maya, too, that you want to eventually do like a monthly just like getaway.
Girl,
you don't even care if it's like just a hotel in Atlanta.
Girl, yes.
You want to recharge. I wish I was at that level in my life. We're not quite there yet, but
won't be there.
What?
I'm getting there.
Dang!
I mean, the 4
will.
kids,
10 to 2.
You will.
You got kids from the age 4
You
kids from the age
will.
of 2 to 10.
You will. In the empty nest, you start preparing for the empty nest season now, but you will. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
So that I definitely can see that because
Yeah.
you're like, I just think I need to go somewhere like once a month.
I do.
And recharge.
I'm so serious about that. Yes. And I spent some time in Europe, and I love the fact that they have like the month, like literally the month of August is like vacation month. I'm like, I could do this. 2-hour lunches. I could do that, because just building breaks into your day and into your life on a consistent basis, it like helps you to actively recharge and renew, and therefore be more productive when you do have to get stuff done.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you love a 6, let's moving on to Chris. Remember that they are often worried that they can't trust themselves because something in their past made them feel as though they were not safe. Now they are projecting onto you or hoping you will meet all their needs, but you must resist this and let them get their own self-care, whether through journaling to work through their thoughts independently, meditation, exercise, or other tactics Self-care can help sixes get unstuck and allow them to grow stronger in body and mind. If they worried too much aloud with you, set worry sessions with them to a limited time versus letting it run your schedule, and encourage them to take some time on their own to verbally process, uncomfortable as they may feel at first. Also, if they have a faith life, it will be helpful for the six to do a Bible memory about fear and courage. So, scriptures.
That's good.
The goal isn't for them to avoid healthy risks, but to plan for healthy security and the completion of their wonderful and caring, courageous goals, both as individuals and as a couple with their beloved partner.
Amen.
Is it like that?
It's cathartic. Go ahead.
Sound bad.
It did.
Why did it sound bad?
It sound joyful.
Yeah.
Mine sound like he's
sorrow.
depressed. Take him to his room. Let him deal with his problem.
I was sitting here and I was like, man, I've known
The
Chris
uncle in the
for
back
almost-
room.
I've known Chris for almost 20 years. I didn't know he was dealing with some stuff from the
Oh,
past. that he
Lord.
didn't say.
I was like, "Where's my other number?" I thought it was a 6-1. 6-1.
Yeah.
We reverse.
Did you, when you got your results, did you get a pie chart?
That's
Yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Okay, I got a pie chart.
Yeah, and that's why I
It was
remember the
like-
6 was way bigger than. There had some other numbers. I can't remember the other numbers, but the 6 stood out.
2 and
my
9 were
gosh.
almost identical.
Oh, really?
It was like
Yeah.
2 and
One
9.
like 6 was the biggest, but it was other numbers too. I can't remember what they were, but yeah, 6 was bigger than all the other numbers. So
Well, if not, did any of it resonate with you? All of it doesn't.
no, I mean I think at the same time it's just like, I guess I if you have worries or if I have worries, just talk about them, and
Mhm.
you know what I mean. I mean that makes sense, you know what I mean, and concerns, you know what I mean.
Yeah. Cool.
So
All right. Well, let's talk quickly about any communication hacks. And y'all have kind of heard them some throughout the episode, but y'all want to share any communication hacks that y'all have on how to more effectively communicate with one another or manage conflict or anything? And it doesn't have to be related to your number.
Toya, just have a conversation right before Alabama starts. Like
Right
when
before Alabama.
soon
You'd be like, oh yeah,
You'd be
whatever.
like,
Yeah, that's
sure,
good. That's
sure,
good.
whatever you say.
soon as that roll tide starts, like, hey babe, I had this thing on my mind I wanted to talk to you about last
An
week.
allowance of
The kids are away right
Sure,
now. Let's
sure,
just have that
sure.
conversation. I'm a perfectionist. It is right now is the perfect time for this.
Communication. I feel like relationships for me have always been me working to make sure it stays balanced. I talk to my mom every morning, whether she calls me or I call her. We make sure we talk every day. I call my sister a couple of times a week. She calls me a couple of times a week. And I feel like for me, it's always making sure that the relationship is okay. If somebody pops in your mind, give them a call.
That's good.
That's always been my my thought process. So when it comes to Toya, I'm always like, let me make sure she's okay every day. All the time checking on her, making sure. Like, I'm a big stickler when she goes out somewhere. If I don't get a check-in on the 4th hour, I'm like, what happened?
It's the 3rd hour, actually.
Third
Oh,
hour,
snap.
yeah. Because
You need to text me, check in.
Either two
Yes.
things are going on. Either
Better be happy about that.
Oh my God.
Yeah, there making fun of his check-in. You better check in with your
Well,
husband.
it's either you're out there wilding and you forgot you have a family. And I need
Oh,
to
God.
remind you
Yo,
that.
no, real quick. We gotta talk about this.
Oh my God.
When the ladies of track stars go out, they be gone.
What?
They
He
be
living his
gone.
best life.
Just know, I'm letting you know. They invite her out. You may not see her till like in the morning.
Yeah.
And everybody getting in fights with other women. It be a lot of stuff going down. Oh my gosh.
The track stars,
I call Maya. I was like,
it's like
we get home.
a game and we back home. Like, it's, I mean, and
We come in the house. They be like, yo, it's that early? Really? Y'all back this
Yeah.
early?
And that's the thing. We never make it more than 2 hours.
Yeah.
More than 2 hours.
God bless
Like,
you.
Them?
we gotta- because
12, 1.
we know criticism could be coming if we come back. Like, I went and had the draft, the
my
NFL
gosh.
draft.
Yeah.
And I had lunch with Rick Sincere.
Yeah.
Dinner with Rick Sincere. And I was like, yo, as soon as the draft is over, I gotta go.
Like, I need to be walking
Oh
in the
man,
house
please.
Listen,
as soon as the draft is over.
that's not me. I don't give you a 3-hour check-in. That's not me. Don't put that on me.
Oh
Don't put
my
that
God.
on me.
No, but I do
The
get text
check-in.
messages like, "What's your
Oh my
ETA?" It's like,
gosh.
okay, there's either something for me to kill, something for me to open. It's like the ETA means I need you home. Like, something's
Oh
going
my
on.
gosh.
So, I do get
But
that,
yeah, y'all, they in the streets.
yeah.
They in the streets like they single. I'll be like,
Just want to
Jesus,
have fun.
Yes.
y'all coming home?
We'll
in
go.
good
We'll go
company.
out wearing this, and then I'll be like, "Where you going?" To the hills and the blazer and everything. Why y'all just?
I'm
ladies
going
are
out,
going
Ryan.
Yeah.
Leave me alone.
Yeah. So, but no, actually,
You don't talk
we
to
had
me
a
that way. You talk to your
situation
kids.
when we were engaged, where
mess.
she disappeared for like 10 hours.
Disappeared.
Yeah.
Like you was about to
My
put on a
phone
milk
died.
carton.
No,
You was about to put on a milk
I
carton,
spoke
Ryan.
to her at
I
10
think
o'clock
my
in the
phone died or
morning.
something.
Oh my
I
Lord.
spoke to her at 10 o'clock in the morning, and I didn't hear from her again until like 10 p.m. when she came home, and I was sitting there with the police. Like,
Oh
Yeah,
no, you really
Thumbs up.
did. I was
Yeah.
joking about the milk carton. You was
I
really
was
serious.
like, what's
'cause it was
happening?
going straight to voicemail.
Wow.
My phone died.
My good thing is in trouble. Let me get some help. Oh my gosh, I
We
love
was
it.
We have never.
I was
let
just
our
at my
kids-
daddy's
I
house.
love it.
Yeah.
I was just at my daddy's
Go to
house.
Tennessee.
Yeah, we
No,
never-
my gosh.
We're I'm a helicopter parent, and so all my relationships are that way. If my mother doesn't answer the phone after 2 calls, me and my sister go over there.
Oh snap.
We go like, oh, time to go.
That makes
But I
sense.
live 4 minutes away from.
Yeah,
my
that
mom,
makes
so
sense.
that makes
Yeah.
sense too. But
Yeah, man. You
but
making me
I
feel
have
bad
been
right now
15
as
minutes
a
away from my mom.
hey, my
And
mother
I've
watching
been
this.
like,
I'm sorry.
Oh, my mom didn't
I
answer
need to
the
call
phone.
you
I'm
more.
going over there.
I'm sorry.
But yeah,
Oh my
we're
gosh.
helicopter parents. We don't let our kids go anywhere out of our sight,
Yeah.
even in the neighborhood. We see the neighbors' kids up the street playing.
In this
And
day
it's
and
like,
age,
we don't
though,
get, we
yeah.
don't we don't go out.
What's
you don't go out there
helicopter
without us
mean? What
seeing
that?
the
Covered.
whole
Oh,
thing.
wow.
Sure they-
That's what's up.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to in these day and
Yeah.
age. It's not like this.
All right. Anything you want to share on communication, managing conflict?
I would say I guess the best communication for us that I love is when I come home and we have conversation like that.
Mhm.
It's a blessing, like to me, to see how your day was and how you ask me the same thing and we talk. And sometimes you may, I don't want to, I want to go there, I don't want to go there. So I think our communication is good on that. And of course, we can improve on different areas and stuff like that. So, but for me, I like where we are.
Yeah, I like the daily check-ins. I'm trying to remember like when we like really started getting intentional about that, but it really is like a daily tradition for us. Like when at the end of our days, like really coming together and downloading with each other, like, how was your day? What's going on? Blah, blah, blah. So I really enjoy that because it does on a consistent basis foster that intimacy. Like I don't have to necessarily wait till the weekends or wait until, to kind of get like quality time, but we have those moments, I feel like, where we have authentic conversations. So I think that's huge, having those daily download moments.
Yeah, and just appreciating that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like don't come home to negativity or don't bring negativity.
Yeah.
Or even if negativity is coming or being brought, reconciliation of that negativity. So
Yeah.
I think that's the good thing about Dawsonville.
Yeah, I love that. Okay.
I love that. We should probably do something like that. Intentional daily check-in. I don't think we do anything with intention as far as like
When I
communication.
pass you, that's intentional checking.
When I
I was
pass
about to
you,
say, dang.
when I pass
you in
you,
the hall. You good? You good?
and it don't have to be long, Ryan. It doesn't have to be long. Y'all are best.
Got the kids? I'm good. All right, I'm out. See you later.
my
I'm
God.
good.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm going down to the man
I am
cave.
good.
I love it, y'all.
Trim
Okay,
tie,
this has been
always.
fabulous, but we could go on and on, as you can see, but
Yeah, we
gotta
got another
wrap
show
up.
to do.
So thank you, bud. Thank you for reminding everybody. Okay, so we're gonna close out with some words of wisdom. If everybody could just share a quick word of wisdom that they have for married couples or people in relationships. It could be about Enneagrams. It doesn't have to be about Enneagrams, but just relationships in general, words of wisdom, and then we'll close out.
I think that you should be the person that tries to make the relationship the best. Don't wait on the other person to try to make it the best situation for you.
Yeah.
You try to make it the best situation, and you'll see them doing their part as well. And that's
Mhm.
what makes a marriage work.
That's good. Very good.
I would say just help each other out. Constantly always see what you can do to make someone else, your spouse's life easier. And just always be open to communication and
Mhm.
be able to have difficult conversations.
That's good. I would say one thing I'm actively working on. I think initially I approached our marriage as like 50-50, where you do your share, I do my share, but I am constantly learning and having to apply that you give 150, you give 150, like you give your all, you give your all. And without the expectation of whether or not your spouse is gonna do that or not, you give your all, because this is a covenant that you've committed to with your spouse, and you treat them and do for them, according to how God has called you to. So for me, just, realizing that y'all are in this together and you both give your all. It's not a you do your part and I'll do my part if you do your part. It's not contingent. Like, you do your part regardless, and you do give 150%, regardless. So
Yes.
I would say what works for other marriages may not work for your marriage. Try to implement what you like, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But don't copy other marriages. God made you two together for a reason, and y'all in and what works at somebody else's household may not work at your household.
Yeah.
And you gotta be okay with that. You know what I mean? And then also just really just really be thoughtful and get to know that person. You're never gonna know that person. Like, you gonna every time you think like, hey, I know her, and it's like, no, you don't. You gotta continue to learn that person constantly. So those are my two things: learn each other constantly, and then also just look at and just take away from other people's marriages that you like stuff that they do, or you know what I mean. But just remember, whatever works in their household works in their household. It may not work in your household, but just try stuff, you know what I mean? But just put that in your mind as well as you try stuff. Like, okay, that works for the Moors, and it may not work for Dawsonville, and vice versa. It may, you know what I'm saying, and be okay with that too. So that's my thing.
cool.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining us on
Yes.
our
for having us.
first.
Y'all know y'all can't go back to Zoom. Y'all
New
know that, right?
studio.
You can't. Y'all can't. This looks great.
But just
This
take a picture
looks
of it,
good.
use it as the
This looked
background.
great. You guys
Looks
did
good.
great. So
Good
shout
job.
out to everybody that had their hand in doing this. Ryan,
Yes.
Maya, you know what I'm saying? So, and the perfectionist, Tori the perfectionist. But no, I'm serious. This looks very. This is like, I'm like, wow, this is a set, y'all. You could. It looks like a professional set. You guys did very well, and I think the standard is so high now that Zoom. I don't know. I don't know.
We'll be back
We
in
definitely will
person.
be back.
Yeah, we're easing our way in, y'all. We're easing our way in. So you'll see a little bit of both, a hybrid for this season.
Yes. And also, as a reminder,
Yes.
we've been displaying our Becoming Eva mugs. Don't forget to purchase your merch on our website at becomingevatoday.com. I have the sipping tea with BE in the black version.
Yes, and I have it in the white version with black interior, but you can also get it online, white outside with pink interior. For the next time we do our sip and tea with BE episode, you can be ready. And then we'll be adding new merch throughout the season, but we've got the mugs on there. I think we've got a long sleeve t-shirt on there for the fall, but we'll be adding some more items throughout the season. And we got some stuff planned out. So we're going to be time releasing it so that you can be like, ooh, what they got this month? What they got that month? So be on the lookout.
Next week, we're going to have Dr. Cassandra Bolar. She's a Becoming Eva fan favorite.
Yes,
so she will be joining us. We'll be talking about Enneagrams and relationships via like your coworkers, your friends, different relationships. And as always, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, our podcast, Instagram, and Twitter at Becoming Eva Today. See you guys soon.
See you soon. Bye, y'all. Bye, y'all.